be here again. How are we all doing? So good to be back, and thank you everyone who has followed up regarding the program. And we are back. Between me and you, he's back. We are happy to be here again. The ladies, we are all excited to begin again. And like I said in the introduction, that the program is to contribute in our own little ways to the society through conversations, discussions, and sharing experiences, the good times, the bad times, the ugly times, the beautiful times. No one is an island of everything. As much as things might be going well for some people, there would surely be a time when things are not so good as well. But in all, we are grateful to God for life. When there's life, there's hope. Yes, so even when, just like Yinka is saying here now, even those people have given up on, and just within a twinkling of an eye, something happened, and the things turned around for them. So my name is Tolulokpa Ibitola, and I'm speaking with I'm speaking from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm happy to be here again. Like I said, it's been like ages, but I'm excited to be here again. Between me and you is here, and is here to stay now. From time to time, the ladies will be joining. We'll be having great conversation to add our own quarter to the society. We'll share her experience, share her knowledge, some social factors, so that the society starts from the family. Surrogacy. What is surrogacy? And in a society like ours, so I'm not talking about the broad society now, I'm talking about Nigeria. Before we now extend it to the international world, what's surrogacy? How do people see surrogacy? How do we, to what extent can we draw how do we draw the fine line between empowerment and exploitation in surrogacy? These are the things we're going to be talking about today. Is it being legal? Yes, people say surrogacy is legal. Does it also make it ethical? Does something being legal make it yes, because it's legal, we have to do it. We just have to do it. Is that the case? So those are the things we're going to be talking about today. For some women, they feel that it's my body, my choice. I can do whatever I want to do. I have the money, I have everything, and then they want to go ahead with surrogacy. Is that the case? Is that how it actually works? And on the other side of the coin, there are people who are in the picture, the surrogate mothers. Is it really their choice also? If you as a woman say, it's my body, my choice, I do not want to carry, or I do not want to go through this choice, the other woman who will be carrying the baby, is it also their choice to say, I'm fit, I'm everything, I can go through this choice for you? At what point do we see it as empowering other women to be fulfilled and happy, like they say, joys of motherhood? At what point do we see it that way? Or is it exploitation on the other side of the coin for those women? So I believe, for me, I believe in Canada where I am, yes, surrogacy is allowed, even when you are fit and you have the money. When you do not have fertility issues, yes, surrogacy is allowed. When you do not have any underlying health issues, surrogacy is allowed due to some factors. But it should be an altruistic, is it altruistic reason? Like it shouldn't be commercialized. It should not be because I have the money and I can do whatever I do. It should be that the person who is offering themselves to be a surrogate mother is doing it willingly. Regardless of whatever comes from it, I am putting myself down to make you happy. So recently, there's this very popular lady on social media. And then she made this video about surrogacy and said, yes, in the past, people had condemned her for this and this that she said. And then, does she care? No. This time around, I'm saying this with my full chest again. I'm fit. I do not have any medical or health issues. And but for surrogacy, that's what I'm going to do. And a lot of people came after her to say, no, you're not supposed to say that. Even the sensitivity of that topic, you're not supposed to come out this way to say that, especially for those people who have been on that journey for so long. And here are they, not because they do not want to go through surrogacy as well, but they do not have the money to be able to make that happen. And then you are here, nothing is wrong with you. Probably if you had said, because of many other reasons, because I'm over 40, I might not want to go through that part. People might just be a little calm with her. But you're saying nothing is wrong with me and this is what I want to do. Okay, one thing I like about her is I like her guts. Yes, she's very like, whatever you want to do, this is who I am and this is what I am going to do. So I like her guts on that aspect. But when our favorites do some things that we think that this is not really how it should be, I think we should be able to talk. We should be able to call them. I'm not saying call them out or cancel them, but we should be able to also give our own opinion. Like, okay, I love you, I appreciate all the good things that you do, but on this one, I do not think we agree. And which I think, I'm happy that a lot of people came out to speak their mind. Yes, you're taking this thing so lightly, like it's all about money. But it's not just money. There are people who have a lot of money. They have this money when you want to talk about money, but still they are still on this journey of not having kids of their own. And let's start from how it even became. Let's look at the cultural aspects first from Nigeria. I remember that before we got to this surrogate thing or no surrogate thing, what really makes a woman a woman? First, let's start from having babies. When a woman has a baby and then she chooses not want to breastfeed her baby, and people start condemning her from there. Like, how can you be a woman and you're saying you don't want to breastfeed a baby? Are you even a woman? And that's what that statement will come out. Are you even a woman? Sorry. And then I think we got past that stage, and people begin to say that whether you breastfeed your baby or you give your baby milk or you give your baby pap, whatever you give your baby, as long as this baby is healthy, there's nothing you're doing against this baby's health. Of course, everybody moves on from that part. So there was no, maybe to an extent, but the way it used to be before, like, is it that if you cannot breastfeed your baby for this particular amount of months, then you are not a woman. I think we've moved past that kind of conversation. And then you got to the conversation of, if you're giving birth to your child, and then if you're having a baby and you cannot, and you're going for CS, or you cannot give birth, there's this vaginal delivery. If you can't do that, then what makes you a woman? And you see people, in-laws, aunties, everyone looking down at someone who is not a vaginal delivery. That became an issue at some point too. And afterwards, we see women opting for CS even when everything is fine. Like, it's not, and it's like we're moving past that stage again. Like, okay, I have this is what I want to do. I do not want to go through that pain. It's not like I have any health issues why I cannot birth my baby vaginally, but I just do not want to go through that pain. And then you see people who can afford it going for CS as well. And then it's now the stage of surrogacy. If you cannot carry your baby yourself, then you are not woman enough. So at what point do we move from this conversation again? Like, because whether you carry the baby or whether someone carry the baby for you, whether it's adopted, as long as I think it's something it's a mental thing. If I've chosen that this person is my baby, how do you love the other person? It's because you choose to do that. So we're now at the stage of, it's either you carry your baby or not. But I feel that everybody, whether the child, the one that was birthed, the mother carry, or the one that was adopted, or the one giving birth to surrogacy. All children are children, depending on how you choose to relate with them, depending on how you choose to manage them. The person that owns the baby is not complaining. So why you, the person that carries it, that went for the surrogacy, is not complaining? So why are you now taking Fensic or Panadol for someone else's headache? It's not even a headache for them. So why are you complaining that someone is going for surrogacy when it's not your child? When you are not the one, they didn't come to you to ask for money. They didn't say that you're going to be the one responsible for this child's school fees. So why is it now a problem for you to start discriminating between a child that someone has chosen to bring into the world themselves by whichever way they have chosen to? So I think we need to get past that stage that humans are humans, children are children, regardless of how we want to bring them into this world, as long as we are responsible and able to take good care of them. And so I also want to, I think I mentioned the fact that does being legal make it ethical? You hear people saying that after all, it's legal. Yes, things might be legal, but if there's really a reason, there's no reason why you should go for something. Why do you have to go for it? If you see that there's no reason why you should go for it, why do you have to do it? Just for the sake that it's legal? Is that the reason why? I'm looking for an example. Like, because something is legal, does that makes it now something that everybody should have? No. It's just like sometimes as humans, we just want to, when we feel that we have access to something, we want to use it because we have access to it. And I think that's one of the human features. Yes, because if I don't have it, why should I use it? But if I have it, why can't I use it? I think that's the stage. But if you are using it and saying that I have the freedom to use it, then where do we draw the line of this freedom? I have the freedom to do this, I have the freedom to do that, I have the freedom to do a lot of things, and that's what has gotten us to where we are now as a society and as a people. I have freedom to be who I want to be. I have freedom to use my body the way I want to use it. I have the freedom to go wherever I want to go. Has put a lot of people into a lot of challenges and problems today. So if everybody is saying that I have freedom to do this, I have freedom to do that, and I mean, I say that I am saying that I have freedom to do something up to 10 miles, and someone comes like, yeah, you are saying you have freedom to do something up to 10 miles. Talk about me. I have freedom to do something up to 20 miles. And then at what point do we stop? At what point do we now be able to create sanity in our society? I've spoken to doctors about this as well, and they say that this is still an ongoing conversation. It's not like we've come to the end. Things are going. I was talking to someone like 2 days ago. I said, you see this thing that we're talking about, surrogacy, children giving birth through this are not children enough or something, or women who go through this process are not women enough. It's we get to a point that we may not even need human incubators any longer. Like now, if you're able to carry your baby up to 23 weeks, of course the baby can survive outside of you from 23 weeks. In fact, I've seen people who are 19 weeks, 20 weeks kids survive outside of the womb. So if science can get there, it will get to a point that maybe at 10 weeks, I don't know how many years that will take us, but maybe even from the start, you would not even need human bodies to carry these babies again. So what would we be talking about then? How do we then define these children or these women at that point? Because I know that the world will get there. If at now kids can survive, babies can survive outside of the womb from 23 weeks, sometimes it will get to 15, it will get to 10, and at some point it will get to the stage that all you need to do is just drop your egg, and then you see your baby. You're going to be checking your baby like it's in the daycare. Like, I just came to check on you today to say how you're growing, and when the baby is fully developed, they give it to you, you take it home. So what are the conversations we're going to be having at that point? Things would have changed. I'm sure nobody's going to be saying you're not woman enough again at that point, because like it used to be, you were not woman enough. That's why you were carrying, going through CS. The conversation has changed now, and then people opting for CS on their own terms. But now the conversation is still like, at what point do we draw this? Because the fine line between exploitation and empowerment is what we're looking at now. Like, if you say that this person that I want to use, the surrogate mother, is also an adult, this adult in Nigeria, can they be in Canada? Can they be in other parts of the world and still want to go through this? Because in this place, yes, there would be probably the biological mother will be responsible for the healthcare, the legal fee, whatever you go through during the pregnancy. But there's no, like, because you carry a baby for us, we are paying you, we are doing this. They will just take care of the responsibility. It has to be your own will to come. So you are doing it in Nigeria, and you're saying because you are an adult, are you also able to do it in another part of the world the same way you have done it, that they will not pay you? So that's what we're looking at. Are you also able to do it in another parts where money is not involved? Are you willing to give yourself? If you are able to do that, yes, we would know that, okay, it's not because the money is, it's not because of the money. But if you are saying, yes, I'm an adult and it's not because of, I like being pregnant. Please, who likes being pregnant? I don't know. Maybe some people. But it's not a walk in the park like that for a lot of people. I know maybe there are some people, they might have the best of time doing that, but a whole lot of people, it's not a walk in the park for them. So will you also be able to come to another part of the world where money is not involved, to say that this is what I want to do for the love of humanity? I want to go through this journey for this person, and then go through all the trouble to bring forth a child that it's not going to be mine. I'm not going to have any decision making right on this child. If it's going to be the same, then we would say, okay, yes, you can do that. But if you come to the other part of the world, you're not able to say, I want to go on that path, then there's more to it. There's something we should also look at. It could be because of the money. So that's when we now say, okay, so if money is not involved, would you do this as well? If this person who is calling you, telling you that you're an adult, it's your body, you can choose what you want to do with your body. If they come to you and say, I'm not going to give you a dime, all I'm going to do is, I'm going to take care of you while you go through this pregnancy, and I'm going to see to the legal fee, I'm going to see to the hospital fee, but as soon as you give birth to this baby, you are handing over this baby to me, and you are not going to have any right over this baby again. Would you do that? So that's where, if you're going for it, you want to think about it. And recently, I heard that in the University of Ibadan, ladies are now going to the hospital or wherever to to exchange their eggs for money. These ladies are doing this now. They're commercializing. I would say they're commercializing their own eggs for money. Yes, it's a good thing you can do for humanity, and do for people who are going through issues and would like it. But often yourself, we should say that. But a lot of us, we what's it called? We condemn prostitution. But is this not the same track? Offering my body to get the money that I need. If you say that you cannot do this and do this, you cannot be a prostitute because of money, but you can go and leave your egg and collect money. What's the difference? In fact, that one is safe. That one safe might even have more biological consequence, more than the people who go into prostitution for money. So we've been talking about surrogacy, and I was sharing my own perspective, things that the way I feel about it, and I'd ask that people put down their opinions, their share, their point of view as well. So joining us today, Simiat, what do you think?
Well, thank you so much. Let me first of all congratulate you for we promised to be here this time, and we are here. It's not easy to start a program or to organize something like this. I know it will have to like a whole lot your time and of course a lot of effort at getting things done. Thank you for giving the world the opportunity to share perspectives on this particular program, and we appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
bringing it. Thank you so much. So
Thank
we're
you
talking
so much
about
for your kindness.
yes, thank you. We're talking about surrogacy, and I think as a person, I don't know how. I think I just want to look at it from the point we were discussing about the the moral issues, the kind of things the world is saying about it. It's your right. Some are saying, why would you allow that? Some were saying, oh, it's a lot of slavery, you're exploiting the people and all of that. And I looked at all the conversation. It's more like there is no way, there is nowhere you turn to in this world, you're still going to get criticism.
Mhm.
So they are the ones that would say you do not have a child. They are the ones that would say, oh, your child is just one. Oh, you have only girls. Oh, you have only boys. And then they say, oh, you're barren. They
Mm,
use all sorts of adjectives to
mhm,
qualify the woman and the men, or
mhm.
maybe the couple now in the long run. And I think surrogacy is just one solution out of all the many solutions to infertility, and of course people having issues, medical issues with challenges with having a child or giving birth. So I think we should, it has come to stay. The only thing we can do is to regulate so that people don't get exploited,
Mhm.
especially the poor. Some said, oh, I think there was a point you were talking about. Is this really something you can volunteer to do if there is no funds attached to it?
Mhm.
The reality on ground is that even people that go through natural way of getting pregnant, there's a 50-50 chance of surviving.
Mm.
And we heard about uh what's it called people having challenges giving birth, and of course
Exactly.
you also put different narratives surrounding that. And every day when you check the statistics of maternal death, you also discover that a lot is happening in that as well. So if somebody is going to volunteer to do
Mhm.
that, of course I think the person should be properly taken care of.
Of course.
So be taken care of. A lot of things happened immediately the child is given birth to, or immediately, okay, you get pregnant. Some react, a certain way, and if you're not really somebody that you don't have the cash, you just volunteer. And of course, we recall what happened to a mother, put into bed, and of course, the hospital was, requesting for 500,000 naira, and the husband could not
Couldn't
pay.
afford it.
Unfortunately, the woman died.
Mm.
At the end of the day, those are just the challenging part. So whether you can volunteer, I saw a video where a sister was actually volunteering to help the sister out. One of her siblings, she was more like, if since my sister could not do this, if I have the
Mhm.
opportunity. You see some people in pains, what they go through, trying different best method, and they are not getting pregnant. Some are getting pregnant, but they are losing it. These are real-time consequences for women when it comes to looking for a child, and taking away the stereotypes of your infertile. We married you for this and that. You've not married. You've not produced any seed. Those kind of things surrounding issues of childbirth. So it's really one thing I think we should look critically into. It's just one out of so many options that we now have on our table. And this is trying to go away from all the stereotypes that people put around and the labels they put around couples or women, men that have children. I have a friend, he called me how many days ago and was telling me that he was looking for a surrogate mother, like somebody to carry his pregnancy. So he was trying marriage, it wasn't working. So to him, he said, option for him to pay somebody, to get him a child, So I said, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't know whether they still do that in Nigeria, but where you are, I think they should be doing it. So
yeah,
these
but
are
people
just...
can actually, sorry, Simia, people can actually do it. Yes,
Okay.
since it's legal, you can say, okay, because I do not have a partner, I want a surrogate mother or something. But it has to be willingly. It's not because I'm going to pay you, because you do not have money now, and then when you have this baby, you are going to become rich. So it's not going to be on that basis. It's going to be that whether there's money, like you said, funds involved or not, this is what I want to do to help you. So people can opt for that. Like, okay, I don't have a partner, or I don't want a marriage, but I want a child. There are different reasons: fertility issues, health issues, age, and everything. But it has to be altruistic, not like when I finish doing this, people will know that I have arrived. No, it's not
I have
that.
okay. I like that part too, because like I said, part of what you talked about, the topic, how you coined the topic, you talked about, is it an exploitation or empowerment, which is critical to the discussion. See, let's not deceive ourselves. People come out to say, I donate this, I donate that. So we have people that donate without any funds attached to it. And there are some people that are comfortable, they are very comfortable. There's nothing you offer them that would speak to whatever they have, the intentions they actually put up. It's because they're also coming from a place of not lack now. For people that would volunteer to, just like people would give out, their wealth, they are very comfortable people. And then when they give out their wealth, they feel very fulfilled at that stage. On somebody that has no wealth, so what do you expect the person to give out? So the person is giving out something, and the person might be counting on that, or on something in return. Do you understand? So you look at it and say that we might really say that don't expect to be a millionaire immediately after, which I think is what the law is trying to do. I was using the case of traffickers, organ,
traffickers.
yes, of course. And of course, the donations too, to say, okay, they need kidney, you have to be able to donate it. You also look at the effect of donating. So if you are a donor, you also discover that there are health challenges that might come up in the process. So are they willing to take care of you at that instance? And some people might just have a moral understanding that, okay, because this person have been looking for a child for only God knows when, and this person actually helped me in doing this, that is something I could not do, so I would compensate the person on my own. There are conversations like that. Some will say, oh, but not at the immediate. And I think that is valid, because if you take that away from the conversation, you discover that when you're wealthy and they tell you about the pains that goes into pregnancies, you might just want to recruit someone to get that done for you, so you don't have to go through all that. And so they say they will pay, how much is your money? So they start recruiting the poor, those that would not have anything and they'll just go and bring them from one village. At the end of the day, you just camp the person in their compound. The couple will live this celebrity lifestyle, and somebody is inside. That's
Carrying the
a
baby.
baby, kind of. So that, I think, is the essence of that restriction, that you have to be able to be a volunteer, so that people don't misuse the opportunities. This is just a pass for the people that do not have, the privilege of doing it
Okay, Sylvia.
themselves.
Sorry,
I
I
can hear.
just want to maybe complete your thought. I just wanted to break you talking about poor people who carry the baby, and then I actually wanted to ask that at what point are we able to let this assumed poor people know because on the other side they will say that they're adults, they are making the decisions for themselves, but right, they are volunteering to do this by themselves, being adults. But right within, we know that it's not just because they're adults that they are volunteering to do this. It's because they need the money. So how do we come in that aspect to those people who are doing this for money? What message do we have for them? Like, they're not doing it because I want to help the society. I'm not doing it because this is my own contribution to the world. I'm doing it because this money is important to me. Then disregarding all the health issues, all the other consequences that might come after, what message do we have for them? What do we tell them?
It's really a very tough one. Really, let's be frank. It's a tough one to say that, whatever it is that is going to come out of it, that you're just volunteering to save the world. The many women you see suffer, trying to get pregnant or have their own child. You really would want to use that as maybe. I just wish that the people that eventually become the surrogate. In fact, some people see it as a business.
Mm-hmm.
See it as a form of business, that
That's what they do.
I do something and of course I get something in return. And I know why, the state is trying to ensure there is law protecting, the the poor now. I don't know if it's
But what if the
as
poor does not want to be protected? That's the question now. Like, okay, you want to, but I need this
so
money.
so it happens. So we have different examples of what is happening in the world, with respect to the world, the states, the government trying to protect, civil rights societies trying to protect the poor, and the poor is saying that what is your own? Am I not the
Are we
poor person?
complaining?
Do you get? So, which of course validates the point you were trying to raise earlier, that at what point do we call human rights and infringement on other people's rights? People volunteer to be a surrogate mother, and of course, along the line, you start criticizing them for what they have done. The most recent example was when Chimamanda was sharing. When I got the news that she got two babies, like twins, I was very happy for her. I didn't know that it was through surrogacy, but at the end of the day, I like the fact that she was able to come out to talk about it, because it will put pressure on other women that you're 47, she's 47, and you're able to give birth to, give birth. So you can try it. Do you get? So I like the fact that she was able to address, and the honesty is really what we need at this stage. Whoever is going to be a volunteer should also do it willingly, not that somebody is coercing you to get into it and you'll be paid a certain amount. I told you, I used the example of organ trafficking, human trafficking, for instance, as well. You see people smuggling, they tell you a particular story, and of course, at the end of the day, the story is not what it would be at the end of the day. So that is just bringing our consciousness to you, that we have to be honest with ourselves. If truly you want to help somebody, it might be your own way of saving the world or saving the women that are into this, not only women now, You have some men too with infertility issues. So
Mhm.
we're battling this perception or this stereotype that somebody is called names or labels. They label you all kinds of names just because you're unable to do what everybody is doing. We forgot that not everybody will be able to have children. Not everybody, every man, or there are people that would not even have children. We have them already in the world. There are some that would have children and they won't be the ones to raise them. So they say the world has enough children if it is
Yes.
children we're looking for, of course,
Everyone
but
else can
people
take one.
have claim ownership. It is my egg, it is my sperm, those kind of things, because there is still a label that says it's not your child now, maybe it was adopted, that kind of stereotype as well, that kind of label as well, that to say, oh, it's not yours, you could not even make babies, because your this, the child use of forms of narrative argument to push, to want to shame you, really, to tell you that you're incapable of doing something, you are not a full human being because you've not
Mm.
been able to do that. So those are things we keep running away from, and that's why I think the solution is also part of what the world is looking at, and I think it has come to stay, whether we like it or not. For those that are adopting the practice, really, I think you should just uh, close your ears or whatever it is
Walk
to those
blindly.
criticisms at the beginning. Now they say, oh, you have a child that has no father. That person might not even have a child. The person talking might not even have a child. So
Even if they have
some
a child, how well have they taken care of that their own
do
child?
you get? So they will carry another person's problem. They have theirs that they are unable to actually fix. So they will
Mhm.
now use another person's problem to cover up their own whatever. So in
Inadequacies.
the exactly. So at the end, we are all battling something. So what I'm battling is not what you're battling. So instead of
Exactly.
you to face your own and solve your own problem, you're looking for how to shame another person with, another kind of problem away from the one you have.
Thank you so much, Amy. That's been a very enlightening uh, time. Like the fact, I like the ending closing part of where you said that we are all battling something. We all have things that we are dealing with. Yours might just be different from mine, and because my own is something that everybody can see, it becomes now the talk of the town. But your own that you
Mhm.
are seriously battling with, you would not face it. You join other people to start discussing other people's issues. So let's also learn to, be kind to people. You don't know what people are going through. Seeing people
Exactly.
smiling, seeing people happy, seeing people looking perfect and fit all the time does not mean that everything is well. Does not mean
Mm.
everything is well, even though we wish that everything would be well with every one of us. On that note, I also wanted to ask you, Simia, since it's between you and me, um, if you were given the chance, would you be a surrogate mom,
Ah,
or is it
really,
something you can do?
I have some people in my life that they've been too kind to me that I, at times, I looked at it, I say, if it is possible for them to come for me, I don't mind. I
Hmm.
don't mind going through this for them. Because people have different experiences. You just want to just be the light, for someone else. Just at least show kindness that you care deeply about them, and of course, it's not really something that they also, planned. They don't want their life to be like that. They try as much as, but if you see the pains in so many um, processes that women go through, even men as well, or couple now, some even decide not to even get married. They just want to have a child. So they keep trying different methods. So if you see the pain that goes into what they do just because they want to have a child, you look at it and say, it is worth it. But if you don't, if you can't, If you're unable to, you have to consider other alternatives. We're talking about surrogacy now because maybe it's just looking like it's becoming something, an option that is being taken, like being adopted by people. And of course, it would come, the conversations will come. People will criticize that they will abuse the people that are doing it. They will abuse. In fact, they would even try to say that the children or a child given birth to using that is not really an authentic child of those couple or those persons. Those conversations will come. But whatever it is, let's protect the space for the children. Whether we like it or not, have come to stay. And we see people give birth and throw, those children inside the bush. Some inside the bush. Some you see them inside. What's it called? They even have the guts to throw them the gutter. All sorts of things they do to children. So somebody gets to pick that child. Are you saying that that person is not going to give a name to that child? Especially if I was the one that found the baby, I would definitely name the child, after me, after myself. So at the end of the day, it's just a child that needs to be protected. So whatever conversation we're having, let's leave a space to protect these children because they didn't choose to do that. The parents choose to do it. And they have not actually violated any right, any law rather. So except for, somebody violating, we're talking about the state trying to institute, comprehensive laws that will take care of the parties now, especially the surrogate mother. So that to me is sacrosanct, and we should learn to keep that space. Those children are still children to be protected by the world. So whatever it is, they are just like, in fact, you look at we have different ways of doing things. They're not just one way to getting result. They say 5 plus 3 is 8, 4 plus 4 is 8, 6 plus 2 is 8. So we're all looking for 8. So you can go through different format, different processes to get to where your 8 is. So that to me is sacrosanct. So we should understand the diversity of the world. Everybody is not going to be married. Everybody is not going to have children. Everybody is not going to there is definitely going to be dichotomy. You have the male, you have the female. So there is really nothing special in what is happening. It's just science advancing, getting problems solved, the people's problem solved using that method of giving birth. So that's what I see. We should look at the word deep. It's not one thing. The word is not one thing. And things are not going to be done one way, your own way. It depends on your standing in the world. If you're the person that is more like somebody that is lacking something, you're speaking from the position of weakness. And of course, at the end, you have to get a solution to your problem. But if you are blessed, in quotes now, you have your husband, you have your children, and everything is going fine with you, it's because you're there. That's why you can open your mouth to say that the other person's method is fake and it's
fake.
new.
It's easier to judge people when you are not the one on that part.
Exactly.
You feel like when you're looking at footballer on the screen, I feel like you would have just kicked that ball and it goes straight into the goal post.
Exactly. A lot of coaches.
Then we see how much you can kick. It becomes an issue. Exactly. So it's easy for people to judge when they're looking from afar. And then, I'd always also say that even if you think that you're going through the same kind of issues, you don't forget the fact that you are not the same humans. The way I would be able to deal with issues might be different from the way from the way you can get along with some issues. Maybe my own threshold would be 10, and then you can go as far as 40. But does that make me a bad person? No. It still boils down to there are people, there are different personalities, there are different things, and then we shouldn't be quick to judge people. We shouldn't be quick
Mm,
to just feel like people are not doing enough. They're not trying enough. They are not giving their best, and that is why things are not working out for them. So
mm.
let's
I
let's
coined
try to round off.
I coined a particular phrase. I don't know what to
Okay.
call it. So I was saying that I was telling my friend, I think I was an undergrad then, and I said, experience colors the way we perceive the world.
Exactly.
So what you have been through in life, if you are somebody from a wealthy family, and you've not experienced any lack in your life, you
Mhm.
see, you would understand when people are saying they don't have money or their parents cannot pay their tuition. You won't understand. You will be asking questions like, uh, they gave birth to you, so why are you saying they can't feed you? They didn't pay your school fees. Why did they bring you to life?
Mhm.
Why are you here? They are irresponsible. Not
Mhm.
knowing or understanding the circumstances that led to the parents being unable to take care of that child at that time.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, it's one thing we're all looking for. We all want to fit in.
Mhm.
We all want to fit in. What is the word saying? Oh, this is what the word is talking about. When it comes to, empowerment, they say empower the female child, and then they are not talking about the male child. Oh, is that what the word is talking about now? It's because the people bringing out these conversations are largely women, and everybody has agenda. So
Exactly.
you have somebody pushing an agenda, a narrative, basically because an agenda. There's an agenda that they are actually trying to push. So the
Mhm.
narrative has to come with that, at the end of the day. So,
Mhm.
like I said earlier, we're all trying to fit into what the word is saying. But if the word is saying something that you have so many opportunities, so many choices to pick from, you don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to stress your life because this is not working. Other things could work for you. Why not take that option? So, if we look at the word with such deeper meaning and, of course, with such depth, you discover that nobody would care about who is doing surrogacy, who is not doing surrogacy. They will just think their business. Oh, that's just one of the methods of getting the child to bringing the child to life. And who is involved? The person that is carrying the surrogate mother is not complaining. You're the freedom fighter, the activist fighting for women. There is this narrative that my boss would always, joke with. He will say that, you see, when women were talking about equality, they were saying that women are not going to war. Women are not going to war. It's only the men that. He said the soldiers that are fighting the war, were they complaining, like the female soldiers, officers, were they the ones telling those people, the activists, that they want to go to war or what? When
Mhm.
they go to war, the war happens to men. Do they want to
Mhm.
go to war so die? So some of these things we have to put context. So largely, we have to understand that people are going through a lot. Empathy is the first thing we should show.
And
Whoever has chosen that path, it's not easy for them to choose it. They just have to fulfill whatever obligation they think they have. It is their goals to have children. If that is a goal to achieve, they go through the process, the right channel. They are not breaking any law. So, what is my own edict with
Mhm.
that?
Okay, yeah, they're not breaking any law, but let's make this use this to round off the program. Yeah, people are not breaking any laws when they want to go through that path. But what do you have to say to people who, not because there's any issue, but because they feel that I can take advantage of this person? What would you like to say to them? or I can take
Well,
advantage of people who do not have money and continue to live my own celebrity life.
I think I don't know if there will be a way they would get the law will catch up with people like that. But I think since it is to solve a particular challenge for people, for specific people, we should allow it be that way. If
Hmm.
you have not been facing any challenges giving birth, you don't have any of the reasons why people choose surrogacy, why should you do it?
Hmm.
Why not allow people that actually need it to go after it?
Do you know that
You
to
know,
get the point that it's like one time I heard that of the hospital in Bagada, I've not been there, but I just heard it, that there was a time the government funded this hospital and it was so good and the average people could afford it to get good health and they would not have to pay so much. But got to a point that the so-called rich people who started going to that place and then it now became an issue for the average people because everything just became so expensive that the average people, or even if it wasn't expensive, but the connection people, they took the spot for every available spot, and those who would need that service more would not even get they won't get the service again. So that's what I'm saying. That would this not get to that point as well that people will really need this thing, but they do not have the money. They cannot afford it. Would it not be a disadvantage for them when people who have money now that they start commercial and the thing just the amount that would maybe normally one would need like 5 million or 3 million for the process, and then someone, because a lot of people who can afford it are now into the practice, and then they say, okay, I can afford 10 million, 15 million. So the people who really need it, how do we now help them?
give
What do
them
we do
hope.
to them? How do we save them?
Okay, I think that is where the law that we're talking about, comes in. The state is trying its best. I think in Nigeria, 2024, it was also, a bill that got to the National Assembly, and they're trying to work things out. I think that is why the law has to be there to protect the poor people.
Mm,
And for the rich that would say, let's not deceive ourselves. Money is important.
mm,
It is really important. It's only God that is controlling some things to allow the poor people to have access to better healthcare. Imagine a poor person having cancer. Where will the person go to?
mm,
Do you understand?
mhm,
So during COVID, for instance, they said, oh, COVID is going to kill, because Nigeria understands. I don't know whether this is really about, because at the end of the day, they've not been able to prove to us scientifically that why COVID did not kill so many Nigerians like it
mhm,
was doing in other developed countries with sophisticated healthcare infrastructure. So at the end of the day, God knows how he would rally around those people.
mm,
And we should not get to the point where we have to say that the only people that can have children. At the end of the day, what you see the imbalance. A poor person gave birth to 5, 6, 7, 8 children. So that's to say that there is somebody that is above all of us, and he knows
mhm,
what he's doing wherever he is. And it is not to say this, it is not to, what's it called, to stigmatize those ones with money and didn't have this. It's just God saying that I am who I am, and I choose to give whatever to whoever I choose to. So you have this, you have that. The fact that, at the end of the day, you see that we still look at, oh, who are those that are doing, domestic stuff the more? You say the poor people. And at the end of the day, you still discover that from the poor people, they get to the peak of careers to become experts in so many fields. the fact that they are dedicated to with little support, from their parents. So at the end of the day, I think we just need to be fair to ourselves. If you're a poor person and you need this, because not all, it's not a crime to be poor.
Exactly.
You just want to get out of poverty. Some people are poor not because they don't want to get out of it, but because they don't have the right environment. And of course, it's not even that they don't have humanity. They even have more. They are more humane than the people we celebrate and call sophisticated and all of that. So at the end of the day, we should just be fair to ourselves. And for people that want to take advantage of others, just know that that child is going to be something. So if you really love what the child is going to be, the process is also very important. So not just the child, the process of getting that child is important to whatever dream you're having on that child. Whatever, if you want the child to be successful, then build a successful path to getting him there, which of course is the foundation. So don't cheat anybody getting a child. Don't people because you just want to have your own child.
Thank you so much. If we continue this conversation, we'll just keep talking because there are different perspectives to it: the cultural, the the legal aspect, the medical aspect, the religious aspect, everything. So we'll not finish. We just continue to talk about it. So, but because of our time, we just have to end it there. Maybe sometime again we can discuss it, and then more people can be involved. But this was really very an engaging conversation, which I like. And I think I want to let us end with that part that you said, Lazar. Whatever it is that you're doing, the process is not just about the outcome. Also look at the means that you're going through to get the outcome. If you want this child to be successful, if you want this child to look back, if you want to look back at this child and say, I am proud of who you are. If you want to be at peace yourself, taking care of the child, you shouldn't cheat anyone during the process. You shouldn't exploit anyone during the process. You shouldn't take advantage of people. After all, if they go call the police, there's nothing they can do to me. You shouldn't do that to anyone. As long as you want that child and you want that child to be something that you yourself can be proud of. I think on that note, we'll be ending this program today, that whatever the outcome you want for yourself, think of the process. Think of the path that you're taking to get to the process. It's not, they say that it's the means to an end, right? It's not just the end. The means also matter. Thank you so much, everyone who has been on this program today. Thank you for joining us. And on this note, we say thank you. My name is Tolulope Bisola, and we'll see you again on our next episode of Between You and Me. This time we're here to stay. Take care and have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.